Welcome to Spotlight. I'm your host, Jane Wernette. Today I'm joined in studio by two local nonprofits, the DuPage Symphony Orchestra and Indian Community Outreach. But first, we head on location to the Morton Arboretum.
Today's Spotlight is brought to you in part by presenting sponsor, UC Bank.
Let's just start out a little bit with some background about the Morton Arboretum.
The Morton Arboretum is, I would say, it's greater than 1,700 acres now, almost 1,800 acres, located in the west suburbs of Chicago. And we've been here, we were established in 1922 by Joy Morton. So I think everybody is familiar with who Joy Morton was because of, the salt shed or Morton Salt Company, right?
Right.
But he also wanted to leave behind a lasting legacy besides, salt. So he established an arboretum because his family were very avid about plants, about gardening, and about trees. So they had a family motto that was plant trees.
Love that. Very simple. We can understand that easily, and it's a good one.
Right, exactly. And so he established in 1922 because he wanted to create a space that people could come enjoy, and then also collect plants from all over the world, because there's a need to preserve these plants in collections and also understand how they might perform in different climates or different locations or different regions. And so that's what public gardens used to do. We used to evaluate things for how they perform in different climates. And today we're a little bit more focused on preservation of genetics.
Okay.
Right, and conservation of species of conservation concern. And so when we do conservation of species or preservation of genetics, what we're doing is we're creating a collection and a space that researchers can use, as well as people can come learn from. So not just researchers, but the broader community. And so anybody can come here, and if they want to learn all about oaks, they can come to our oak collection, and every tree is labeled on the south side.
Oh,
right?
okay.
So you can learn all of your oak species from around the world. We have about 102 of them.
That's incredible. I'm not sure I had any conception that there was that many varietals of oak.
There's like
Yes.
over 400 species
Yeah.
in the world. And so we have 102 that can actually survive here. And people can come learn. So they can learn about oaks, they can come learn about maples, magnolias, crab apples, and they can teach themselves, or they can come here and take classes and learn all about our collections plants.
Okay.
So that's, at the core of who we are. Our mission is to collect trees, shrubs, plants from all over the world. And then bring them here so people can study them, so people can enjoy them. And ultimately what we want to do, our vision, is to create a greener, healthier place for the world, not just for, you and me, but for everybody.
Okay.
Right? And the key to that is ensuring that we have plants for the future, because we need plants to survive. All the other organisms need plants to survive. We really can't survive without plants. They're the foundation of life. Right?
Yeah. So as we look around, Kim, there's amazing different kinds of trees here. There's a lot of science, though, involved in that, right? You do a lot of science with the trees. Say a little bit about that.
We do a lot of science with the trees. Science informs which trees we curate into the collections, right? So as a curator, when I'm looking at what do I want to include in this collection or this broader collection, I'm looking at it through a scientific lens and not just saying that's my favorite species or that's really pretty.
Yeah, you're not doing a Jane who's just looking around picking which one she wants.
Yeah, I want genetic diversity, right?
Yeah.
Because that's going to ensure that we have a healthy forest and we have a healthy future in the landscape. And then also, we have a Center for Tree Science here at the Arboretum, and we have what's called a new plant development program. So it's a breeding and tree research program. And those programs use the collections to conduct research, scientific research on trees. And then those are not the only folks who use our collections. We have a lot of stakeholders, and externally we have partners that we collaborate on tree science research, but then we also have others who might be working for the USDA, Agricultural Research Service, or the US Forest Service, or at an academic university, and they will reach out to us and say, hey, we have found some things that are in your collection through your online database.
Okay.
That's public.
Yeah.
And we're really interested, can we get samples of that. And so what a lot of folks are doing right now is there's a big push to get things sequenced, to get things characterized genetically. And so we send out a lot of leaf tissue for that, and we do some of that work here too, looking at the relationships between trees and looking at how genetics move among populations of trees.
Kim, thanks so much. We're going to move along to the children's garden, which I'm really excited about. But thank you for sharing this incredible space with us.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for coming.
So Jeremy, I just left Kim from the Oak Collection, and we're here now in the children's garden. Tell us a little bit about this space and how it came to be.
Right. Well, Jane, science is at the heart of everything the Arboretum does, and even for our youngest visitors. The Children's Garden is actually 20 years old this year, and it was designed with the idea of giving our youngest audience the opportunity to explore and connect with nature in a safe space. There's only one main entrance and exit. Families can come here and spend all day, playing in the water, climbing on the structures, really just getting in touch with nature and exploring.
It's wonderful. And you've got a lot of different areas. So say a little bit about the different areas within the garden.
Yeah, there are 4 main garden areas, including Wonder Pond, the Secret Stream, and each area has a different kind of play aspect. We're actually trying to encourage different types of play with different physical setups. There's gardens where kids can dig and get into dirt. Obviously the pond where we can observe things like tadpoles and just play in the water. Or even the stream encourages things like kinetic play and team building, where kids are working together with kids they just met to dam the water, or even social play. So the different spaces in the garden really encourage all kinds of developmental play.
Okay, and is most of that sort of spontaneous? The kids are here, they're doing it themselves, or are you offering programs?
Yeah, it is. It's an open area, but we do offer drop-in programs for day of, and also a schedule of programs. We actually have programs for all ages at the Arboretum, from as early as 18 months to as old as you can get, for a variety of interests. So you can come to the Arboretum just about any day and find something that you can engage with.
Okay, and you're celebrating 20 years at the garden. Anything particularly special you're doing for that celebration?
Yeah, well, I feel lucky to be here for 20 years because we've seen the Children's Garden become a generational space. Kids that were coming with parents when it first opened are now actually coming with their kids. So we're seeing multiple generations of the same families come, and it's really become a cornerstone of their experience in the area.
That's wonderful. That's really lovely. Jeremy, thank you so much for sharing a little bit of this amazing space with us. We're going to go take a look at some of your other special visitors.
My pleasure, Jane. Thank you.
Let's talk a little bit about these really colorful, beautiful sculptures.
Yeah, so our latest art installation at the Morton Arboretum is Vivid Creatures. It features 5 large-scale, very colorful, larger-than-life sculptures. They are created by Heather Baguettes and Fez Baguettes, who are partners in life and art based out of Portland, Oregon. And once they visited our site a couple of years ago, they were just inspired by our grounds, by their talks with our scientists and with our staff, to create animals that are native to northern Illinois.
Maybe tell us about each of the statues and what we could expect to see here.
Sure. So Scamp, our squirrel, is right here in the arbor court, and squirrels are the sculptures of the forest, right? They plant the seeds and acorns, and they make the forest what they are in future years. And then we have Generosity, which is our majestic white-tailed buck. And he stands 22 feet high and 19 feet long, and he's just absolutely gorgeous and stunning. And he looks like he's an oak tree. So his legs look like oak trunks, and then the branches are along his body, and then even in his antlers.
Okay.
And then we have Cadence, which is our sandhill crane. And cranes were migrating actually at the time that Heather and Fez visited, so they knew that they had to add cranes here. And Cadence is right near Meadow Lake. It's beautiful. It is 16 feet tall with a 26-foot long wingspan.
It's incredible.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's the colors of sunset and sunrise, which is what inspired the color for the cadence. And it is in a pose that cranes take when they're either dancing for their mating dance or they're calling up to the cranes overhead.
Oh, lovely.
Yes.
It kind of almost looked like a ballerina as we looked at it
Exactly.
through the children's garden. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. That's what they were thinking. It's a dancer. And then we have Nimbly, our dragonfly, and Nimbly is huge. You would never think about that for a dragonfly, but in a perfect location near marshes and water. And he has a goldfinch and a green frog kind of painted within his sculpture, because those are animals that he feeds on, and then they also feed on dragonflies.
Okay.
And so there's little bits and pieces within all of these sculptures that you find. So every time you visit, you're kind of seeing a new little detail that's added in there. And then our final piece is Spectra, our snail, who's up on 88, the berm overlooking 88.
Yes, we can see it. That's such a lovely welcoming to the Arboretum, right?
Yes. So it's beautiful. It's there where Joe the Guardian troll once stood.
Yes, I remember
and
that.
It's a beautiful way. It's kind of the artists like to say, it's a cheeky way of asking people to slow down and be observant about life around you and nature.
I like that. And on the freeway too. That would be nice as well.
Right. That could help. But the Morton Arboretum's all about bringing these one-of-kind exhibitions here to provide opportunities for people to go out and explore nature, kind of reflect on their own connection to nature with these sculptures. So I think that art layered onto nature kind of brings nature into a different focus for a lot of people, and hopefully helps them kind of look at the connection that they have within their own lives with nature and get out and explore and enjoy all the benefits.
Thank you, Amy. And for more information about the Morton Arboretum, please go and visit their website. We're going to take a quick break, but stay tuned. We're coming right back with more Spotlight.
Today's Spotlight is brought to you in part by presenting sponsor, Busey Bank.
This is the run my own business dream. This is the colleges paid for dream. This is the retire early dream. This is Busey, where your dreams and possibilities become moments through trusted guidance and expertise, through lifelong relationships. Because we're here to help you achieve the life you've always envisioned.
Today's Spotlight is brought to you in part by presenting sponsor, Busey Bank.
Welcome back to Spotlight. And joining me now from the DuPage Symphony Orchestra is Jane Wernette. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll start with, what's your why?
That's a great question. I am personally extremely drawn to classical music, not only from a family background, I come from a family of musicians, but also how music came into my life in my early teens. It really filled a gap in my life and gave me a sense of purpose at that time. And now that I'm an adult and a professional, and my professional life, I am in nonprofit business consulting. So when the DuPage Symphony Orchestra was looking for new board members, I jumped on that. I really felt like that I was going to be able to provide a very specific skill set to the DuPage Symphony Orchestra. And just being a musician for a season before that, I really saw the potential for growth, but also all of the amazing work that they're doing now. And I wanted to be a part of that more than just a volunteer musician.
I love that. What do you play?
I play the cello. I have played since I was 11 years old, and I'm 30 now, for reference. And I absolutely love it. There's been times in my life where I couldn't prioritize playing, and those I view as sad times in my life.
Aww.
So the playing in an orchestra is such a fulfilling experience for me.
Yeah, I love that. And I love how you say how music has kind of filled those slightly darker times for you.
Yeah.
But brings you light.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Being in a room of passionate people and we're collectively creating something beautiful together is such an out-of-body experience. I wish everyone could experience it.
Well, probably not everyone I can name myself have the talent that you do, but we enjoy listening to it from the other side, so that's always good. Talk a little bit about how the DuPage Symphony Orchestra really sort of balances staying true to its mission, but also staying up with current times and maybe economic, societal issues. How does it pivot?
Sure. So a big part of the DuPage Symphony Orchestra's strategic plan at this moment is really putting an emphasis on diversity and inclusion. We want classical music to reach all parts of our community, regardless of age, creed, income, all of those things. So we make a really big effort in our community outreach programs to reach lower income school districts, to be able to bring classical music with absolutely incredible soloists who come play with us straight to their schools, to be able to experience classical music without the traditional barriers that come with the classical music scene.
Well, and I think it's also, I think a lot of people maybe have the perception it's a little highbrow, am I gonna like it, all of that. And I think once you're exposed to it, it's just like many other forms of music. It is really inclusive and wonderful and entertaining, and you can find things in there that you really love. So, but early access is very, very important, right?
Exactly. I think a lot of people are intimidated by classical music because it seems so complex. But if you think about when these pieces were written, throughout the classical age, the Baroque age, the composers were the rock stars of that time, and they would put silly things into their music. For instance, Mozart famously wrote a fart joke into one of his pieces.
Love that.
So it's really something that is super fun to get into, even though it might seem to be very intimidating at first.
Yeah, I like that. I love, and you kind of had mentioned to me off camera that you also offer some of your concerts in your summer series for free, right? So that, again, no barriers.
Exactly. These are wonderful outdoor concerts where we welcome anyone of any age, from anywhere to come and enjoy our music. So that's a really great opportunity there.
Yeah. Now, what is the organization, and you've touched a little bit on this, Jane, but what does it really mean to you personally, being a part of it?
Sure. Yeah. I alluded to earlier how classical music is a huge part of my life. It is one of the best ways I've found to feel connected with my community. Additionally, being able to sit down with 70 to 100 people who all play different instruments, who are all from different walks of life. We all sit down together once a week and create something really beautiful. And that's something that you can't find really anywhere else, especially when you're an adult and you're out of that whole school activities sort of thing. This is a wonderful opportunity to feel connected and explore art in a community.
Yeah, that's really, I love that explanation, because I think, you made the point, when you're young, you have automatic systems that put you with a lot of people. But this as an adult is a place where you're also with a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
And doing something that you all have a common interest in.
Yeah, I definitely view the orchestra as that third space. We always talk about in our society how we have this loss of a third space. And I've really found that the DuPage Symphony Orchestra specifically has created this culture where it really does feel like that third space that we could go to outside of work, outside of the home, and really feel connected and productive with each other.
Yeah, I love that. Now, if somebody who has talent, which I don't, but if somebody were listening and has talent, how would they get involved with the orchestra?
Great question. And I always like to say too, you maybe haven't touched your instrument since you were in high school, but you remember really loving it. Don't let that stop you from joining an orchestra 20, 30 years later. I played with another cellist who was 60 years old, and she didn't pick the cello back up from high school until she was 50.
Wow.
And she was,
There's hope.
Exactly. Don't discount yourself.
Okay.
I think that everyone has the ability to come and participate in an orchestra. So if you have the desire, do it.
If we have no talent, truly no talent, we never picked up an instrument before, how might we get involved with the orchestra beyond the traditional donations for nonprofit?
Great. So the first thing that I always have to hit on is become an annual subscriber. So when you become an annual subscriber, you get tickets for all of our concerts. You also get special little perks for before the concert. We have a table set up where you're able to pick up special perks, and you get additional things like priority seating and all of that fun stuff. Now, if the funds are an issue, but you still want to become involved, we're always looking for volunteers, especially for ushering our concerts.
Okay.
So ushering is a win-win because you get to come listen to our concerts for free. And you're contributing to the DuPage Symphony Orchestra.
Yeah, that is a win-win.
Yes, so if you are interested in volunteering in that capacity, I always like to direct people to the DuPage Symphony Orchestra's website as well, because we also have a pathway to apply to become an usher or any other volunteer roles that we need.
Jane, thank you so much for coming by. Again, welcome to Naperville. It sounds like you're putting your heart and soul into the DuPage Symphony Orchestra.
100%.
And they're very lucky to have you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. For more information about the DuPage Symphony Orchestra, please go and visit their website. We're taking a quick break, but stay tuned. We're coming right back.
Today's Spotlight is brought to you in part by presenting sponsor, Busey Bank.
This is Busey, where your dreams become moments. With trusted guidance, we'll help you achieve the life you've always envisioned.
Do you want to keep track of the latest news and events happening in Naperville? If you said I do, then you better believe we've got you covered. With NCTV 17 News Update, get all the local headlines without any of the hassle or subscription fees emailed to you Monday through Friday. Because we believe in everyone's free access to stories that inform, connect, and empower the whole community. Sign up today.
Today's Spotlight is brought to you in part by presenting sponsor, Busey Bank.
If you're just tuning in, you're watching Spotlight. I'm your host, Jane Wernette, and joining me now from the Indian Community Outreach is Krishna Bansal. So nice to see you.
Very nice to see you, Jane, and very glad to be back here.
We love it. So explain to us a little bit about the background of the Indian Community Outreach Organization.
This is a wonderful program that was conceived, built with Mayor Pradle in 2012. We started talking about it. There was a big need. Indian population was growing. It was becoming the largest minority of Naperville. But unfortunately, what we noticed together was they were not involved. So Mayor Pradle and I, we sat down and we came up with this idea. We started this program and with the whole motto, how do we educate, integrate, and empower? And that's what we have been doing since then. Mayor created a position reporting to him. Approved by City Council. I was appointed as the chair of the Indian Community Outreach. And then he suggested start a nonprofit organization underneath and work with it. That's what we have done. We have worked on several programs with the core idea of how do we educate the community? How do we integrate both sides so that they know each other? And then the biggest thing was how do we really, when we talk about empowering, it is how do we really empower in sense that involve in volunteering and also Indian community is very much into professional world, business world. How do we empower them to go to come here, set up their businesses, and play a big role in empowering Naperville?
You've been going for 12 years now.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about some of the achievements, Krishna, that you're most proud of for the organization.
Definitely. I will start with the biggest achievement, the civic involvement. At that point, the community had no idea what city does, how city runs. Today, you look at every or any board, any volunteer board or non-profit organizations, you will find people from Indian community actively participating. They're everywhere, even on your NCTV board.
Yes, absolutely.
I've been on the planning, and we have people on planning. We have people on every board today. They are contributing. People are getting into the civic system. They're working hard. The youth is getting involved. They are even you will see most the youth members on the volunteer boards are coming from Indian American community. They are so much intrigued. They are so much involved. So that is number one. Number two is the economic benefit. Earlier people running businesses, they had no idea what to get done. How do they approach city? So we worked with them. We worked with the city. We became a channel in between them. And today, as a result of it, Indian American businesses are thriving in Naperville. We got some very large businesses like Patel Brothers.
Yeah.
We saw the Mall of India complex, that entire Route 59 got transformed with that.
Yes.
And many big businesses, technology, medical professionals, even the franchises, food businesses, hotels, you'll find everywhere. So a lot of those. And then the third is really working with creating an environment where a trust got built in between Indian community and non-Indian community. So they now work together very well. They know each other very well. There is no gap as it used to be. Like, we don't know what they do, how they work, what it is. Now people are more integrated. So I think that those are the key three things we have been able to achieve, and we are very proud of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, that connection, connecting people, understanding, communication, all of that plays a big role, right? You've been building programs, and you talk a little bit, and it kind of touched on it just a moment ago, on the concept of inclusivity, because that's an important part. We talk about that. That's one of the missions of the community, is to create an inclusive environment that people feel like this is everybody's home. Say a little bit more about that.
Definitely. I mean, that is a biggest win, I will say, we have. Now everyone is talking about DEI programs and whatnot, but this was a real DEI program. I'll say, I love Mayor Pedal. I loved Mayor Pedal, and Steve was involved at that time too with us, Steve Cherokee Mayor. And when we built this, the whole idea was to build this program that can bring people in, make this society as more inclusive. And this really played a huge role. Without a single dime city spent on it, it is a volunteer-based program. We all work together, and it's a wonderful, wonderful example of what we achieved, what city achieved. And today, Naperville is seen as, Naperville is on a global map for Indian community.
Now, talk a little bit about India Day. That's been a, kind of a marquee event for a long time. You're taking a little pause this year.
Last year, we celebrated 10th year. This program has become a landmark program. People look for it. People come from all over, not only all over the city, all over the state. People come from neighboring states for this program. And as I said, this program has helped ICO and Naperville to be on that world map, where people know, oh, that's Naperville. I think this happens in Naperville. It used to be Chicago.
Yeah.
We don't say Chicago, we said Naperville now. Unfortunately, Naperville is moving in a direction, and I won't blame them. It's the safety and security environment around the world, but the requirements that are there at this point were very difficult to be met. We couldn't have met them in the time from the money standpoint and the space standpoint and everything. Especially if we can't have a 16-year-old kid to be accompanied by adult or have everything. I mean, this is a community event. We keep it free. We don't keep it ticketed. So for us to spend another $150,000 to $200,000 for the event, and as well as compromise on the space, was not possible. It is very heartbreaking for a lot of us. People are very sad about it. We hope to bring it back. We are working to see if we can do in some other way next year at some other venue. Okay. Hopefully it'll be Naperville. Hopefully it'll be Naperville. We'll see. We are working on it.
So our fingers crossed on that.
Yeah, Naperville has been our home. We'd love to keep it in Naperville. So we are working with the city to see how that goes.
Good. Krishna, it's always so nice to chat with you. Thank you so much for sharing a little bit about the history of the Indian Community Outreach and the achievements that you've had to date. And if you would like to find out more about the Indian Community Outreach, please go and visit their website. I'd like to thank all of my guests for joining us on Spotlight, and our friends at Busey Bank for their generous sponsorship of today's show. To learn more about the organizations featured on this episode, please visit our website at nctv17.org. And to stay informed about what's happening in our community, sign up to receive our daily news update and like and follow us on social media. For Spotlight, I'm Jane Wernette. Thank you for watching.
Today's Spotlight is brought to you in part by presenting sponsor, Busey Bank.